Hi everybody, it's Amalia, and I'm here today with a haul from INLOVEARTS. I received an email from them saying they'd like me to pick out some items from their website, and then they shipped it to me, and I tried playing with a couple of the pieces, and so I want to show you what I got and how everything worked out. First of all, let's start with, I'm finding that with some of the dies I've been getting lately, that it really depends on the paper that you use, the ease of which, how things are going to cut out. So, maybe it has to do with adjusting the pressure on my rolling plates, adding shims between my plates. Maybe it has to do with things like that. I'm not really sure, but I tried a couple of different things and a couple of different types of paper. So let me show you what turned out and how. First I'm going to show you the different dies, and then I'm going to show you how everything cut out. So this is the Best Wish die. It's one die all together, and it cuts out the words Best Wishes, and the wishes would be in an opaque block like this. And why don't I show you what cut out with that. I used two different types of paper, and they both worked pretty well. Actually, it was not two different types of paper. These are both Recollections. Hold on, let me double check. I have to put my glasses on. This is a Recollections paper for sure, and it cut out pretty well. This is, you know what? I think this is American Crafts. This is a black American Crafts cardstock, and I just noticed that this wasn't cut out all the way, just the part in the E. And I did have to use some wax paper. This is deli paper that I use for my jelly prints, but I did have to use that in a lot of these dies. So between the paper and the die, I put a piece of jelly paper. This is kind of like a waxed paper, so it acts as a nice release and it cuts more smoothly. Otherwise, I was having lots of trouble doing that. So here's the Best Wishes die cutouts, and here's the word wishes. So I guess you could use it in multiple ways. Can you see that okay? Yeah. And so that worked out pretty well, and I think this is going to be a good die to use on future projects, future cards for sure. So I'm going to put that away. I store everything in these clear plastic bags so that I could use them later. Then let's see, what else? Let's look at this. This was a leaves die. Cuts out a bunch of different leaves. All the dies come together. All right, so they're attached, and these come apart pretty easily, actually. I used a wire cutter, simple wire cutter, to cut them apart. This is the wire cutter that I used, but actually they come off really easily on this particular die. So if you just bend them back, they'll come off. That one came off pretty easy. That one came off very easily. And you can leave them on, or you can leave them attached. I decided to cut them apart because I was having a lot of trouble with this particular die cutting out. It just wasn't cutting out. So here's a couple of examples. This is American Crafts paper. This is when they were all cut out, and you could see here, this was before I just pulled off those extra metal pieces. They indented there, but that's okay. But this wasn't coming out. This is still stuck in here, and it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of creasing and bending and probably tearing of the paper for it to come out. So this is the American Crafts paper on its own. This is some Recollections paper. This was the die all together before I had cut them apart or broken them apart. And you can see here with the Recollections paper, it wasn't coming apart. So that's when I decided to cut them apart. And it still didn't work once I cut them apart and used different paper. Then I went ahead and I put wax paper in between. So here's, I just used one die here. Here's the, this is the American Crafts paper still, but I used this wax paper in between the die and the paper, and it came out pretty easily, if I remember correctly. So let me show you the die cuts that come with this particular die. So again, on this green Recollections paper, everything except for this one came out pretty easily. This one is still stuck there, but it's still usable even though the end stem is not there. So that came out pretty nice. Here's the piece that came out here. So the secret with this one is really to use the wax paper in between, and I also used a metal shim, by the way. Not a metal shim, a paper shim. I added some paper to give it more thickness, and so with that it cut out a little bit better. Here, this is Stampin' Up! Cardstock. This is Recollections cardstock. Those came out pretty nice. And again, with this first pass, right here with the Recollections, they all mostly came out except for the fern, and with just one pass, no wax paper, no paper shim. And then here are the ones with the American Crafts and the wax paper and paper shim. So they came out pretty nicely, so I'm happy with that. And it was a learning process. I was getting kind of frustrated because they weren't coming out you know, perfectly, you know, on the first pass. But yeah, you've got to make things, you know, work. So I went ahead and, oh, is this right? Does this go in the right one? No, I don't think this is the right one. Anyway, it's going to stay in here. Where's my Best Wishes die? Okay, losing things, that's okay. So let me show you the next one that I played with. I hate all these extra little fibrous pieces that come off, don't come off, stick to the paper, end up everywhere. And I think that's also a part of everything. Oh, here's the Best Wishes. Okay. So the next one was this adorable little mushroom. This is a 9-piece set that also came all clipped together. And I had to cut these apart. These weren't easy to break off. And I left some of them with the little bars attached still. So it comes in multiple pieces. Here's the mushroom, 2 mushrooms cut out. This is the top of the mushroom. Here's a door. I think this is a window. There's an arrow. Here's another top of the mushroom. And then these are little grassy pieces. And let me show you what those looked like. I assembled one of the mushrooms, and that's how it came out. Totally adorable. Really love it. And oh, here's another one that I assembled. Oh, no, it's 2. Super cute. With this one, the brace was the base was brown, and I just used the cutouts from here to fill in the black cap of the mushroom. And then here's some extra caps. And I threw away a lot of the other spar parts that cut out with it. And here's some of the little baby tiny mushrooms. So cute. Really enjoyed playing with these. And for the most part, these were pretty straightforward to cut out. I don't recall using the wax paper with these. I think these cut out pretty easily. And that's how they all came out. So super cute. That's a die that I'm really happy about playing with. And I don't know, let's see what happens in the future, what projects I can do with that. I'll put these away real quick. The next one I got was something that I kind of hesitated on, I think, at first, but I wanted to get a stacking die like it, and this was the one choice that I saw that I liked, because so that's this one right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 stacking pieces, and it was the first one I tried, and it was an instant regret after the first try. So let me show you. First of all, I just did it with the Recollections paper. Stampin' Up! Paper is the best paper that I've seen so far when it comes to die cutting. So Recollections, I've had issues with various styles of Recollections paper and when it comes to die cutting. And so this one was also connected, and I cut off all the connections because I hadn't at first, and then it was making divots in the paper. So this is the first one I tried with Recollections paper, and you know, it cut out okay, and I say okay because I still can't get these little guys out. And you know, I'm using this tool, which you should just be able to run over, you know, all the small die cuts, and then you know, things will pop out pretty easily. But this one, it wasn't working, and this is a really thin piece of paper, so I would have to go around to each one of these and poke out each one of these. And since I like doing things in multiples, this was a bit of a disappointment and a big PIA, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and all of these little things would essentially drive me crazy. But this little tool is very handy for that. Otherwise, I try not to buy dies. This particular one is a Spellbinders one. It's called a Tool-in-One. It comes with other attachments that you could add here. I don't think this one came with the attachment, but they're available. Sizzix has one. In addition to the Spellbinders one, you can probably get them at scrapbook.com. I'll post a link below for you if you're looking for one. And so, yeah, you know, I don't mind tedious work, but I do. So that was a disappointment that it didn't come out, you know, all these little dots didn't come out, and that I would have to work to get all the little dots out. But this piece cut fine, and so I went through the process of figuring out how I could make it work. And I found the Stampin' Up! Paper. This is Pool Party in Stampin' Up! And it's a nice, heavyweight, good cardstock, and the middle's cut out great. And take a look at the centers. I did use a wax paper barrier between the paper and the die. That helped out tremendously. I believe I did use a paper shim as well to add that depth for cutting. And I used this and an old mouse pad to just go over all of the holes, and pretty much everything came out. Right? Not pretty much. Look, here's one hole that didn't come out. They all came out really easily just with using this little tool. I didn't have to poke any individual ones out. So knowing your die cutting machine and using various techniques with the different dies helps. Definitely wax paper in between some of the thinner dies helps out a lot. And so I really like it. So in the end, I am happy with this because I had this tool to help me. I knew about the wax paper shim and adding an extra piece of paper to make a shim, and so this worked out really well. I'm going to really enjoy using these and you know, doing things kind of like that. That's kind of what I was thinking I was getting. I mean, I knew about the double edge here would give me this frame, but I think with, you know, double cutting another slice of paper would be really nice frame around this. Anyway, love this, and look forward to some future projects with this. And then I have one last die that's not going to go in. One last die. Oh, one last die, and then I bought something else. So let me show you this die. This is a Happy New Year die. This is Happy New and Year right here. This is 2021. I saw this and I loved it immediately. I made a few cuts. The first one that I used was my Nina paper. The Nina paper was this silver Nina paper. And it was a little bit of a challenge to get out. Again, I made a first pass, probably without any wax paper or shims, and it was kind of hard to come out of the die. This piece broke off, but you know, it's going to be really easy to replace. I could still use this on a project, and everything else really cut out really well. I actually made some cards. I'm in a collab with Deb Hack's Crafty Cottage, Smash That Small Paper Pad, and this Saturday we just published our last video for 2020, and these were part of the cards that I made for the collab. So I made a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 cards. And I used the Cartabella paper, which is this one right here. And I used some gold glitter cardstock and some blue glitter cardstock. These came out really nicely. Oh, I also used this particular stamp as the background. This is Hero Arts background stamp, and I just inked it up with multiple colors of inks in the background, tempting turquoise, pool party, some kind of gray color, and stamped the background. Then I put the Nina silver color on the background. This is the designer paper from Cartabella, and this beautiful glitter cardstock from My Mind's Eye. And I think they came out pretty great. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to be sending these out tomorrow, and hopefully they'll get there by New Year's. If not at the end of the week, then you know, it's fine if they arrive next week. So that's my no, it's not. I have one more item I got, and it was this. I got some washi tape. Why did I buy washi tape? I don't know. But I did. They have all sorts of things on their site, and washi tape was one of them. And so I got some washi. And I kind of like it. It has the alphabet on it. It's pretty simple. but I liked it, so I picked it up, and I'll definitely use this somehow, some way. And so that's it. Those are all the things that I got from In Love Art Shop. I want to thank them for inviting me to get some items free from their website and showing them all to you and being able to play with them. If you're interested in any of the items that I got, I'll include a link below. It's not an affiliate link. I don't get any credit for it. I don't make any money off of it. They're not sending me anything extra, although I wish they would. So it's not an affiliate link, so there'll be links below to all of the items, plus there'll be a coupon code for 20% off of anything that you link to. So thanks a lot, everybody. I really appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I made here and what I got. And bye!